You lived entire years of your life. You opened your eyes for the first time. You heard your mother's voice. You tasted food. You felt rain on your skin. And you remember none of it. Try it right now. Try to find your first memory. Whatever it is, a birthday, a room, a face, it almost certainly happened after you turned 3. Probably closer to 3.5. Everything before that is gone. Not faded, not buried somewhere deep. Gone. For over a century, scientists have had a name for this. Infantile amnesia. Sigmund Freud coined the term in 1899. He believed the memories were repressed, locked away because they were too emotionally overwhelming for a child's mind. He was wrong. The memories aren't locked away. They were destroyed. Your brain destroyed them, and it did it on purpose. Here's what actually happened. When you were born, your hippocampus, the seahorse-shaped structure deep in your brain that converts experiences into long-term memories, was wildly immature. It had the raw hardware, but the wiring wasn't finished. In 2014, neuroscientists Paul Frankland and Sheena Josselyn at the Hospital for Sick Children in Toronto published a landmark study. They found that in the first years of life, the hippocampus produces new neurons at an extraordinary rate. Hundreds of thousands of new brain cells flooding into the memory center every single day. That sounds like a good thing. It isn't. Those new neurons don't just add to the existing network. They physically push into it. They rearrange the connections that were already there. They overwrite the circuits that held your earliest experiences. Imagine writing a message in wet sand. Now imagine new sand pouring over it constantly. The surface is always fresh, but everything written before is erased. That is what happened to your first 2 years of life. So why would the brain do this? Why build a memory system that destroys its own records? Because the brain wasn't trying to remember. It was trying to learn. A newborn brain has to accomplish something staggering. It has to figure out language, faces, gravity, depth, emotion, cause and effect, all from scratch. The fastest way to wire a brain for learning is to flood it with new neurons that form flexible, fast-adapting connections. Memory is the cost. Dr. Patricia Bauer at Emory University has spent decades studying what children actually retain. Her research shows that children under 2 can form memories. They do remember things for a while. A 6-month-old can remember a specific event for 24 hours. A 9-month-old can hold it for a month. A 20-month-old for up to a year. But none of it survives the neurological storm. Between ages 2 and 7, the hippocampus gradually slows its production of new neurons. The flood becomes a trickle. The existing connections stabilize, and memories finally start to stick. But here's the strange part. The transition isn't clean. What you think is your earliest memory is probably not real. Researchers at City University of London surveyed over 6,000 people in 2018. Nearly 40% claimed to have memories from before age 2. Some recalled events from their first year of life. When the researchers analyzed these accounts, they concluded that the vast majority were fictional, constructed by the brain later in life from photographs, family stories, and imagination. Your brain didn't just erase your early life, it replaced the void with something that feels real but never happened. Why would it do that? Because the human brain hates gaps. It cannot tolerate a blank space in the narrative of your own identity. So it fills the void. It builds false memories and stamps them with emotional certainty. You don't just think you remember, you feel it. And this leads to something even more unsettling. If your earliest memories are fabricated, how do you know where the fabrications stop? How do you know which childhood memories are real and which ones your brain quietly invented to fill the silence? The answer is, you don't. Dr. Elizabeth Loftus at UC Irvine has demonstrated in over 200 experiments that human memory is not a recording. It is a reconstruction. Every time you recall something, your brain rebuilds it from scattered fragments. And each rebuild introduces small errors, distortions, and inventions. Your memory of your childhood is not a documentary. It is a story your brain is telling you, and it rewrites the script every single time you remember. So the reason you can't remember being a baby isn't because those years didn't matter. It's the opposite. Those years mattered so much that your brain sacrificed every memory of them to build the mind you're using right now. Every word you understand, every face you recognize, every emotion you feel, all of it was purchased with years of experience you will never get back. You didn't lose your earliest memories. You were built from them.